Spider-Man Far From Home swings into action in the wake of Avengers Endgame, as Peter Parker embarks on a European school trip that takes an unexpected turn. Join us as we navigate the web of adventure, deception, and personal growth in this thrilling installment of the Spider-Man saga. The movie begins in a Mexican city, where Nick Fury and Maria Hill arrive to inspect the aftermath of a reported cyclone with a face that ravaged the area. Shortly after their arrival, they face an elemental, a creature capable of controlling the earth. Their encounter is interrupted by Quentin Beck, a man equipped with a powerful suit, who assists them in battling the earth elemental. Switch to Midtown School of Science and Technology, where Betty Brant and Jason Iannello are hosting their routine school news report. However, they begin with an in memoriam segment honoring Tony Stark, Steve Rogers, Natasha Romanoff, and Vision. Betty summarizes the events of the snap, referred to as the blip here, from Avengers Endgame, highlighting how numerous students were dusted away and then returned to life, only to discover that some of their younger classmates had now outgrown them physically. Peter Parker confides in Ned Leeds about his intentions to capture the heart of Michelle Jones, or MJ, with whom he has developed strong feelings. As they get ready for a school trip to Europe, Peter harbors hopes of sharing his emotions with her. Subsequently, Peter, in his Spider-Man guise, participates in a fundraiser event, and Aunt May is present to show her support. It's revealed that she also experienced the blip. Happy Hogan joins them and seems to be showing romantic interest in May. He discreetly informs Peter that Fury will be contacting him, and indeed, the call comes in almost immediately. However, Peter chooses to disregard it since he has more pressing concerns on his mind. He returns outside as Spider-Man to interact with the press, but they inundate him with questions about assuming the mantle of the new Iron Man or becoming the next leader of the Avengers. Overwhelmed, he decides to make a quick exit. Later, the class embarks on their trip, and despite Peter's initial decision to leave his Spidey suit behind in order to fully enjoy his vacation, he discovers that Aunt May has packed it for him regardless. They are supervised by Mr. Harrington and Mr. Dell and are accompanied by fellow students, including Flash Thompson, who remains an ardent Spider-Man fan but continues to taunt Peter. On the plane, Peter attempts to persuade Ned to help him change seats so he can sit beside MJ. However, Ned's efforts backfire, causing Mr. Harrington to take Peter, and MJ ends up seated next to Brad Davis, a student who did not experience the blip and has grown into a handsome and athletic superstar. Peter clearly feels envious, while Ned sits alongside Betty, and the two unexpectedly become a couple. The class reaches Venice, Italy, for their initial destination, where they check into a less-than-stellar hotel. Nevertheless, they take the time to appreciate the city's sights, while Peter attempts to get closer to MJ. Suddenly, water levels on the ground start to rise, and a colossal water elemental emerges, unleashing chaos upon the city by using water to flood streets and demolish buildings. Peter is eager to intervene, but realizes he left his Spidey suit back at the hotel. In the nick of time, Beck arrives and utilizes his extraordinary abilities to combat the water elemental. He successfully counters the creature's assaults, ultimately splitting it in two. Peter's classmates view him as a hero, and after watching a news report about his heroic actions, they begin to refer to him as Mysterio. Peter and Ned return to their room, but Ned is unexpectedly incapacitated by a tranquilizer dart courtesy of Fury. Having attempted various methods to capture Peter's attention without success, Fury seizes this opportunity. They are compelled to leave the room to have a confidential conversation, as constant interruptions hinder them. Fury then escorts Peter to his concealed base, where Maria and Beck are waiting. Beck reveals that he hails from an alternate Earth, the very place from which the elementals are originating. He attributes their arrival to the snap and claims that the fire elemental was responsible for the destruction of his homeworld and the loss of his family. Fury seeks Peter's assistance in combating these threats, but Peter feels he lacks the qualifications to face such formidable adversaries as an Avenger. Fury disrupts the class's vacation plans by enlisting his employee, Dimitri, to pose as a driver and transport them to an unexpected destination, Prague, where Fury and Beck have ascertained that the fire elemental is scheduled to strike. Before their departure, a tall woman sent by Fury delivers a stealth suit to Peter, instructing him to change into it. However, this moment is inadvertently witnessed by Brad, who captures a photo of Peter in what appears to be an awkward situation. Determined to prevent Brad from using the photo to his advantage, Peter pursues him. Brad not only knows about Peter's affection for MJ, but believes that showing her the photo will shift her favor toward him. During the journey, Peter used Tony's advanced glasses, known as Edith, which stands for Even Dead, I'm the Hero, left behind by Tony for his successor. Peter, trying to have Edith deal with Brad, unintentionally triggers a misunderstanding that leads to a drone attack. Peter must discreetly intervene to prevent the drone from harming Brad or the entire class. Ultimately, he opts to have Edith hack into Brad's phone and erase the compromising picture. Upon their arrival in Prague, Mr. Harrington announces to the students that they have been given tickets to the opera, a development that dashes their plans of visiting the carnival. Unknown to them, this change of plan was orchestrated to ensure Peter's friends remain indoors, away from the path of the fire elemental. Peter, on the other hand, is tasked with monitoring the situation outside, which thwarts his own intentions of sitting next to MJ. MJ, suspecting Peter's motives, follows him outside. Ned and Betty also trail behind, believing the other two are headed to the carnival. Outdoors, the fire elemental emerges and embarks on a destructive rampage. Spidey and Mysterio join forces to combat the creature, striving to prevent it from coming into contact with metal, as such contact amplifies its power. Ned and Betty find themselves trapped on a Ferris wheel as Spidey endeavors to rescue them, while Mysterio takes on the fire elemental. During the battle, Spidey employs his web, which extracts an object from the elemental and sends it tumbling near MJ, who is concealed nearby. Mysterio harnesses his powers to dive into the fire elemental's core and vanquish it. Peter descends to check on Mysterio's well-being, but faces a stern rebuke from Fury for not adhering to his instructions. As the group relocates to Berlin, Fury and Maria summon Peter and Beck for a discussion about forming a new team. During a private meeting with Beck, Peter contemplates whether Beck is the one who truly deserves to wield Edith. He believes that Tony only left the glasses to enable someone to choose the worthy successor to Iron Man. He then transferred the access to Beck and left the glasses with him. After Peter departs, Beck unveils the truth by dismantling the elaborate illusion in a rundown building. It is revealed that everyone present is part of his team, comprising disgruntled former Stark Industries employees. Beck has been fabricating the elemental threats to garner public acclaim, using drones to orchestrate the destruction left in their wake. He and his associates have resented Tony for appropriating their work, specifically his binary augmented retro framing (BARF) technology. Together, they have conspired to divert people's attention away from Iron Man and Spider-Man, making room for the rise of Mysterio. Peter returns to the hotel with the intention of inviting MJ for a private outing, just the two of them. However, before he can confess his feelings, she abruptly reveals that she knows he is Spider-Man. She has connected the dots through the numerous coincidences of them consistently being in the same places at the same times. To support her claim, she produces an item she discovered at the fire elemental battle site, a projector showing Mysterio battling an air elemental, which has yet to be seen. Together, they come to the realization that Beck is the mastermind behind the elementals, and he is a fraudulent hero. As Beck and his associates prepare for a massive Avengers-level showdown with the air elemental, they discover that the missing projector from one of their drones is now in Peter's possession. Peter goes to rendezvous with Fury and Maria to discuss Beck's true intentions, but to his surprise, Beck has managed to intercept him first. Beck has orchestrated an elaborate illusion to ensnare Peter within it. He ridicules Peter for falling short of the hero he aspires to be, subjecting him to distressing visions, including a projection of Tony Stark emerging from his grave to torment him. It seems as though Fury manages to apprehend Beck, and he queries Peter about who else he has disclosed Beck's true nature to. Peter reluctantly admits that he has confided in MJ, Ned, and suspects that Ned may have told Betty. However, this revelation proves to be another of Beck's manipulative ploys, as he now possesses knowledge that he can exploit to harm Peter's friends. Furthermore, he orchestrates a perilous encounter with an oncoming train, appearing to strike Peter. In reality, Peter is severely injured and loses consciousness aboard the train. Peter awakens in a prison cell in the Netherlands. Following a daring escape, he contacts Happy for assistance. As Happy tends to his injuries, Peter becomes overwhelmed with self-doubt and questions why Tony chose him as a successor when he keeps making mistakes. In response, Happy provides reassurance, emphasizing that Tony had profound faith in Peter for a reason and believed he possessed the qualities of the hero the world needed. With renewed determination, Peter gathers himself and sets out to fashion a new suit using Tony's computer. Together with Happy, they make their way to London to mount a rescue mission for his friends. The class is on a guided tour bus in London, driven by one of Beck's henchmen. They make a stop on the London Bridge as Mysterio prepares the air elemental for an attack. Spidey arrives in a new suit, ready for battle. Meanwhile, Happy sets out to retrieve Ned, MJ, Betty, and Flash, but their jet is destroyed, forcing them to seek refuge in a medieval tower as drones close in on them. In a tense moment, they manage to hide in a room, and MJ takes down a drone with a mace before they are forced to lock themselves in. Within the illusion of the air elemental, Spidey uses his webbing to entangle the drones and shatter the illusion. He proceeds to eliminate more drones, but Mysterio corners him and directs a swarm of drones his way while maintaining an illusion. Employing his spider sense, Spidey skillfully evades all the drones and eliminates them, with one of them inadvertently shooting Mysterio. Peter retrieves Edith, but Beck makes one final attempt to harm him with an illusion, which ultimately fails, leaving Beck to meet his demise in disgrace. Peter then deactivates all the drones. Afterward, he and MJ reunite on the bridge, openly acknowledging their mutual feelings and sharing a kiss. While Fury seeks to recruit Peter once more, Happy intervenes and urges him to leave the young couple in peace, now that he's with his new girlfriend. Upon their return home, Peter arranges a discussion with Happy and May to address their burgeoning relationship. However, there's a misunderstanding. Happy believes they are an item, while May considers it a mere fling. Subsequently, Peter goes out to meet MJ for a date, this time as Spidey. He takes her for a swinging adventure around the city, though the heights make her somewhat nervous. In the mid-credits scene, following their date, Spidey drops MJ off in the streets. They inadvertently overhear a breaking news broadcast in the city. It's revealed that Beck had recorded a video before his demise and sent it to the Daily Bugle, presented by the ruthless and antagonistic chief editor J. Jonah Jameson. The video, doctored by Beck, falsely portrays Spider-Man as the orchestrator of the drone attacks in London. Beck goes on to expose Spidey's true identity as Peter Parker, leaving the people of New York in disbelief and putting Peter in an incredibly precarious situation. Post-credits, it's unveiled that Fury and Maria are, in fact, Skrulls, with Talos and his wife Soren assuming their identities. They were acting under Fury's orders to deliver Edith to Peter. Talos provides Fury with an update on the recent events. The scene then shifts to Fury, who is seen unwinding on a Skrull ship, seemingly under his command. And the movie ends here. Thank you for watching, and I highly recommend watching the entire movie as it is incredibly enjoyable. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to our channel, so you can stay updated and receive notifications whenever we upload new videos.